I got the riser plate for the $50 Minibike build. Let's put this thing on so we can put the motor on, and then we can finally get this thing running. We have to do a few other things too, like the throttle, grips, and the chain. But after that, this thing should be riding. Let's put this engine riser plate onto the frame. If you're wondering where those foot pegs came from, I installed them on my TikTok channel. You can check them out at Darzrt. It was a pretty complicated process, but I got them on. It's pretty simple. There's just these 4 bolts that we have to put onto the frame. And this thing is designed so it should just go right into the slots. Another bolt. And that last one was a little hard to get in, but we got it in. Now we can just throw these nuts on there, and that should be good. Before I tighten everything, I do want to make sure everything lines up correctly, so I'm going to put this motor in real quick. Came to the conclusion I need to take my air box off, or it's not going to be able to fit in the frame. So let's take this off, and it should just be the cover. I'm going to put this bolt back on just so the air filter doesn't go flying away. I've turned the bike on its side because I need to tighten up these bottom bolts for the engine riser. It just keeps sliding itself backwards, and I need it all the way forward. So let's tighten this up. Now we can pick the bike up and hopefully put the motor in. Now it's fitting perfectly. Let's put these bolts in. It was a little bit of a struggle, but I got it in, so that's nice. We got everything tightened up. Let's see how it starts. Maybe the kill switch will help. This thing seems to be running pretty good. Now we just have to install the throttle cable, the grips, and the chain. And this thing should be fully rideable. First thing I'm going to do to install this is put the grip on first. And I'm going to use my air compressor to kind of help it on there. It's a lot easier. You guys can just see in a second. And just like that, the grip is installed. That's probably the easiest way I've found to do it. So I've came to the conclusion I don't like the color of that grip. So I'm going to throw these pro tapers on there because I feel like it would look a little bit better. It would match the bright red. So I got the grips on each side. This side was pretty difficult. I had to use a hair dryer. Yeah, but we got it done. Oh yeah. Let's get this throttle body and the throttle cable installed. I have the throttle cable secured on the engine, but it's not fully in yet. Let's connect this other end to the throttle body before we put it on the engine fully. Alright, so I'm going to pull these screws out of the throttle assembly right there. So now we're going to take the other end of our throttle cable and put it through the throttle housing and screw it in. Now I'm going to have to go grab my needle nose, but we need to go in there and grab the other end of the throttle cable. So let's go in there and grab our throttle cable, pull it out just like that. Now we're going to take our throttle tube and our throttle housing and put our throttle cable in that little hole on the throttle tube. And then the throttle cable should be in there. Then we're going to grab this little piece right here. It's plastic, but it's basically a guide so your throttle cable stays on track. We're going to put that in there. Then we're going to grab the other piece of our housing, slip it on there like that. Basically just hold it there. So everything is together. Now we just need to screw it in. We're going to try to tighten this so they're equal tightness. And that way, it doesn't lock up on us. I totally didn't end up stripping out one of the screws on the throttle body, but it's fine. Anyway, let's take this part of the throttle cable off of the motor so we can route our throttle cable how we want it. I like that, and we can add some ties too to make it better eventually. We should be able to just slip this. This isn't going to be as easy as I thought it is. Turn this way, slip it through like that. Alright. Now. Let's try to... This might be a three-handed project here. Get a good grip somehow. There's not very much room to do so. I ended up stripping out the throttle like way worse. Now it can't get tight enough to like not rotate when you hit the throttle. And the throttle also isn't aligned on the inside, so I can't even take it apart to realign it. So I've got a refund coming from Pucky. And I got another order in, so I'll have a new throttle here. And hopefully this time I don't over-tighten it. That's the whole reason why I stripped it out, is because I just over-tightened it. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button. If you're coming from TikTok, comment down below and say, coming from TikTok. I want to see if there's anybody that is.